Alright, my name is Jacob. I just bought this new Ruger 1022 Tactical. Put a little red dot scope on it. Doesn't actually come with that. So one of the things I wanted to show you today was about a Pro Mag. The factory bolt. Factory mag looks like this. Notice that little right here on the top, a little pin, because I'm going to be talking about that later. And then the back, I don't know if you can see it that well, has a little notch in it. It almost looks like a hex head screw hole. It might be, actually. Anyways, so when I bought this, I got a bunch of these Pro Mags. You might have seen them, and they came with, one of them came with a cleaning thing, two of them came with a target, and then obviously the two mags. Now, I went to go sight in my red dot scope with my grandpa, and when I shot the factory one, the Ruger of course, works perfectly. It's fantastic, and no complaints about it whatsoever. 10 rounds through it first time, and it was great. And this is also prior to that. I took the gun apart and cleaned it really well prior to even bringing it out to shoot. Well, when I got these, so I got those first 10 rounds off, and then I go to sight it in, and I had this filled with 25 rounds, and it was a Pro Mag clip, and you put it in here, and then I'm holding it steady on my lap. I'm not moving it up and down. You can even hear the clicking. So it's moving out of place. So literally every single shot that I took was a failure to feed, or it would feed and then it would, because the bolt action would come back so quickly, it'd rip part of the head off of the actual bullet. And so a lot of them I didn't even shoot. Actually, I shot some of them. My grandpa was like, nah, that's totally fine. So it was shooting like crap bullets, and it was pretty accurate from 25 yards out. We actually within half an inch of each other, just one after another. But I was having to load it, uncock, get out whatever the crap bullet was, and then put another one in. So anyways, I already opened the packages. I couldn't return it, and I looked all over online, and people were just, some of the reviews that I saw was just, they were talking about the release and it needing a better spring for it to sit in there. I'm not super familiar with it now enough to take it apart and put a different spring in it. So I was trying to figure out what to do. And since I'd already bought these, I figured, hey, why not just go to town on them? Well, anyways, you'll notice when you put these in, the width on them is a little fat, and so it's actually hard to put in. So you actually want to look at it when you're putting it in. It's not just something you can drop and like start shooting more. So anyways, I'll show you. This is one that I actually fixed, and you put it in there, and now you see no clicking sound. It doesn't move at all, and this is a really easy fix. The one thing that I like about the Pro Mag magazines as opposed to the Ruger, well, first of all, the Ruger's sweet. But you get those 50 round clips and you can't do anything with them because they're already attached, you can't take them apart. The nice thing about the Pro Mags is these just slide on and there's like little clips on there. I've never actually shot with 50 because obviously this was a piece of crap, but now that it's fixed, it should be alright. So you can hook those up and then you have 50. And you can take them apart and use them individually. So anyways, I fixed two of these, and not this one's broken, but this one I fixed, and the other one I fixed. And I'm going to show you how to do that really, really easily, and assuming you have the tools, really cheaply. So all you really need, little X-Acto knife here, utility knife, a lighter, and just for somewhat of protection and some grip, I had a rubber glove. So what you do, first of all, let me show you the problem with it. When you put this crap magazine that I haven't fixed yet, the Jackson Special magazine, when you put this in here, and it's clicking and going back and forth like that, what's actually happening, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but right in here, by this is the trigger right here. So there's my trigger. And right on the back of it, in here, is something that matches. It looks like they use the exact same screw for the front end of, or Ruger used the exact same screw for the front end of their magazine. And if you look at that really closely, honestly, it just looks like a little hex head. And I'm guessing because you can take it apart and probably clean that thing out. I haven't done it yet. But this one, the problem is if you see this little thing right here, okay? When you put the out-of-the-box ProMag magazine in there, what you're actually getting, when you hear that clicking sound, is that little tiny piece. I'll get another one here. This little piece up here is actually trying to go in that hex head hole, but it can't, so it's rubbing in and out, and that's why it's not staying. So some people talk you need a stronger spring, but Ruger makes a good gun, so you don't actually need a stronger spring. Your issue, actually, here's the ProMag mag, is right here. That's all it is. Just this little bump that is supposed to line up at the bottom of yours. If you look at the Ruger, they actually have this little thing here, but it doesn't even affect it because it goes all the way up. Because these things are so light, you don't actually need it. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell the difference here. I'll hold two of them back to back. So the one, this one on my left, you can see how it's a little further out at the bottom here. And the one on my right is not. So, simple fix. I just grabbed my handed-in glove, pulling a little Michael Jackson stunt on my Ruger. And right there, just the very, very end along here, we're going to trim down so it's almost flush with this part. Actually, if you run your finger along here, these are not put together that well, and there's actually bumps in them anyways. So what I did was open this, and you want to be pretty careful, but you cut away from yourself always, and I guided it with my back thumb here so that I'm getting a deep flush cut. You sometimes have to start a little further in, and it's gonna take a couple times. Oh, I'm getting my computer now. So I'll try to find a couple. I can't see even any of the pieces right now that I'm flinging around, but I can show them to you. Coming back to you is a little more difficult. Okay. So I mean, I'm just getting little tiny pieces off at a time. Sometimes you can get a whole strip. What the initial problem is that because they're not put on flush, that you have to actually cut over the little bump that's on there where the two pieces meet. Not only are they not flush, ooh, that was a good one. There's a bump, you can feel it, so it's not flush this way, vertical or horizontal. That's probably, I'm guessing, why a lot of these don't feed that well. So anyways, you can see I have it down a little bit now. You always want to test it, and when you feel it with your finger, it's pretty rough, and because the plastic is not like a high density polymer, you can actually just take a lighter. And I always hold it like this because I don't want the pin, which is also plastic. The Ruger's is metal, but this one's plastic. You don't want that to burn. And you just basically light it and then make it go up and down, up and down. just real slowly. You just want the flame just touching it. Oh, I just blew it out. The other nice thing is that all your little cuttings that you had on here, they go back clear. And then, because I have these gloves on, I tap it down. Another point, while you're doing this, do not put this back in your gun while it's hot, because 1, it can deform, 2, the plastic can stick to it, and 3, the plastic, if it gets stuck in there, can really screw it up bad. So basically, blow on it, make sure you can touch it. Even to the touch, it's still hot. And I'm going to give it a minute or 2 here to cool down, then we'll start. And we're back. While you're waiting for this to cool down, what you can do is upgrade your base on Boom Beach. And you can also make some raids like I did. Alright, so anyways, when it's cooled down now, when you're putting back in, the sides, again, don't fit in there too nicely. So, put it in there, lock it. I will say the first time that I do it, usually pops out, and then you gotta jam it back in once, and then look. No movement. So, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope now you can buy these cheap Pro Mags, and they will actually work for you. Have a good one.